हमारे देश के आदिवासी, जिन्होंने हमारी संस्कृति को जीवित रखा है, जिन्होंने हमारी प्राकृतिक संपदा को जीवित रखा है, वो न जाने कितनी कितनी परेशानियों से अपने जीवन के अंदर जूझते हैं। जब हम यहाँ आए तो हमें एक परेशानी बताई गई कि यहाँ के लोग जीवन पर्यंत विवाह भी नहीं कर पाते हैं, और जिसके कारण उनको अन्य अनेक समस्याओं और परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़ता है। हमारी संस्था इंडिया आई इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट ऑब्जर्वर ने एक प्रण किया, एक संकल्प लिया कि यहाँ के आदिवासियों का सामूहिक विवाह कराएंगे। तो हमने एक परिणय महाकुंभ इस टूटरखेड़ क्षेत्र में आयोजित किया, जिसके अंदर से 1121 आदिवासी युगलों का विवाह कराया। आइए अब हम आपको बताते हैं कि हमने यहाँ किस प्रकार से इस विवाह का आयोजन किया।
अपनी जड़ों से जो नहीं हुए दूर, संस्कृतियों को संजोए जीते हैं आज। वापी गुजरात की धरती ही नहीं, सौराष्ट्र कच्छ के वन बंधु हैं हमारे।
Gujarat beautifully cradles a number of tribes and lovingly nestles their traditions that are as ancient as the soil laden on its land. Living far from modernity, these tribes have not only preserved their traditions well, but also continue to celebrate these rich traditions with gusto and pride. Near Vapi in the Valsad district of Gujarat, small thatched huts, home to the Kokana and Siddhi tribes, among others, lie sleeping cozily in the lap of the hills of Khapadia, Sutarpada and Wilson. 2nd April 2016, the auspicious day of the Indian Nakshatra Yog brought along with it a magnificent sight, as under a large tent sat 1,121 couples ready to be tied in holy matrimony. The event has been registered with the Guinness Book of World Records and is most likely to soon earn an honorable mention as the record for the largest mass wedding in the world. The celebrations began with the Haldi ceremony. The tribes pay homage to their ancestors outside a small house sat 3 young brides and a 4th bride sat with her groom, all bathed in turmeric with their yellow-colored cheeks exuding a blushing pink glow.
हाँ, समूह लगन एक बहुत अच्छा काम हो रहा है। हमारे यहाँ पानी नहीं है, ये रसोड़े का सामान नहीं है, तो समूह लगन में सब मिलता है।
ये अच्छा, सब कुछ अच्छा लग रहा है। हमें एक ऐसा है, थोड़े पैसे में हमारे हमको ऐसा दिन नहीं हो सकता।
हाँ, समूह लगन हमारा गाँव में था, तो हमें बहुत खुशी है।
Glowing in the illuminating beauty of the Haldi, the bride and groom seek the blessings of their ancestors. Even today, relatives happily smearing turmeric paste on the bride and groom is seen as an important tradition of the Kokana tribe.
ऐसा शादी इस विश्व में अभी तक शादी नहीं हुई है, पहली बार हो रहा है। हमको ये बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि यहाँ हमारे तुतरखेड़ गांव में एक आदिवासी विस्तार में इतने लोग गरीब है, यहाँ हम पहली बार 11 से 21 की शादी करने जा रहे हैं।
As relatives continued to pour in, the brides and the groom were showered with gifts. Under a tree, women were performing Kuldevi Puja, in which they worshipped around the tree, applying kumkum to the tree and singing traditional songs. The leaves rustling in the soft flowing breeze seemed to be dancing to the melodious voice of the women that echoed in the small red tent. In the evening, as the sleepy little sun began to set behind the crisp mountains, leaving behind an orange hue in the fading blue sky, a little village was illuminated under the brightness of joyous celebration. Trodden paths and faint lights beautifully opened up the setting of a cozy little village called Babarfadia, sprinkled with thatched huts all around. Outside, a small hut whose walls were adorned with turmeric palm prints, a coy bride and groom stood, their heads decorated with elaborate headgear woven with flowers that had been first put near Lord Hanuman's feet and later used for decorating the couple's head as a way of blessing the couple for their life ahead. Inside another hut, a couple sat in the midst of a ceremony, while in the room inside, a woman stood worshipping a wooden arrow that had a leaf tied to the top. The arrow was dipped in a small bowl of oil. She stood there holding the arrow and slowly chanting God's name along with other women around her, asking God to bless the ceremony and the couple who were to be tied in matrimony. In the room outside, following a significant tradition, the groom's sister, holding the hand of the bride Sundari Prakash, and her groom Prakash Lakshu, took them in circles around a small turmeric-smeared stool restricted by a sacred yellow thread. This ceremony signified that the bride now belonged to the groom. As the night began to unfold its beauty and the moon began to rise in a star-studded sky, under a yellow, blue and white tent, a family member with turmeric-smeared face played the drum with joy, his feet moving in rhythm to his own music. To mark the eve of the Gujrat Parinay Maha with gusto and pump it with energy, India Eye International Human Rights Observer had organized a beautiful cultural event. The event sparkled with the riveting performance put up by tribes of Tutarkhed village dressed in colorful attire. On the beautiful morning of 2nd April, the sky was splattered with beautiful shades of orange and red as the sun made its appearance from behind the rising mountains, as if in eager anticipation to be a part of this grand event. The canvas of the quiet little village of Tutarkhed was now painted with colors of celebration, as it was the much-awaited day of the 1121 weddings, the day of the Gujrat Parinay Maha. At the venue, a large tent adorned with beautiful decorations was set dotted on the sides with thatched huts. Young brides dressed in glittering red saris, also a gift by the NGO, some laden with heavy jewelry, others with only turmeric on their face as decoration, walked inside with their grooms who had decorated their heads with an ornate gear. As the couples holding hands moved to take their place, Sanskrit shlokas blessing the 1121 couples recited by the priest echoed in the background. The couples were blessed by the presence of around 40,000 guests, which included many political dignitaries, with the whole event being presided over by Ganpat Vasua, Speaker of the Gujarat Assembly. The event began on a beautiful note, with Rakesh Garg participating in a small puja with his family praying for the peace and prosperity of the 1121 couples. This was followed by the lighting ceremony with the Honorable Chief Guest Parshottam Rupala, National Vice President of Bharatiya Janata Party, doing the honors.
કે આવા આદિવાસી વિસ્તારના 1121 જેટલા દીકરા દીકરીઓને પરણાવવાનો મહાયજ્ઞ એમણે કર્યો છે. ત્યાંથી એને તિરસ્કારથી જોવે, હવે વેવલો થઈને રોવે છે. જેની મૂછે લીંબુ લટકતા હોય, જેની હાથથી લોકો ડરતા હોય, એવા મર્દ માણસો પણ એની દીકરીને વળાવતા હોય ત્યારે એની આંખમાં પાણી આવે છે. અને એ વખતે પુરુષ રૂપાળો લાગે છે. એવી જીવનમાં એક ઘડી આવે એને બદલે રાકેશભાઈ ગર્ગ, આ દેવીદાસભાઈ અને એમના બાપુજીએ અને એમની પેઢીમાં કોઈ કેટલા પૂન કર્યા છે કે એક હારે 1000 દીકરીને વળાવવાનો તમને આવશે. તમારે આ ભરવધુ ને હું વિનંતી કરું છું કે આપણા માતા, હું બી ટ્રાઇબલ એક આદિવાસી સમાજનો જ છું, આપણે આપણી માતાની જય જયકાર બોલાવવાની છે.
1121 couples sitting together under the same roof, waiting to get married. The image was nothing short of magical. Among the beautiful couples, there were some brides that sat cuddling their little ones. Young kids, witnessing their parents being tied in the union of marriage, was in itself a sight quite memorable and unique. The main ceremony began with the bride and groom sitting facing each other with a single sacred thread around the couple's neck, tying them together before being tied by the thread of matrimony. Each of the couples was accompanied by a priest performing the rituals. The groom applied vermilion on the bride's forehead and they exchanged garlands. Then, with the priest chanting shlokas and the relatives joyfully throwing rice at the couple took a few circles around a small fire, worshipping the fire god and seeking its blessings. Among happy cheers of the family members and cherished traditions and rituals, the smiling couples were now tied in holy matrimony. Rakesh Garg then performed the beautiful ceremony of Kanyadan, in which a father lovingly gives away his daughter, blessing her and praying for her happiness. What followed was a myriad of emotions, as it was now time for the Bidai. Families with smiles but heavy hearts bid their daughters goodbye. Choked with emotion, they blessed their children, wishing them a bright and happy future ahead. The love that flowed between the families touched everyone present, invoking feelings of love and joy in our hearts.
અમારે આજે લગ્ન છે, અમે बहुत खुश છે. અમારાથી પૂછી નહીં વળાય એટલે અમે સંસ્થાથી લગ્ન કરી લીધા.
यहाँ हम क्या ट्राइबल एरिया से बहुत मतलब इतना बड़ा खर्चा कर नहीं सकते, तो ये सब दूल्हे राजा सब इकट्ठा में मिलते हैं और सब इतने मेहमान मिलते हैं, तो ये शादी का मौसम ये अलग टाइप का है. यह शादी करना बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है. मतलब यहाँ का जो माहौल है वो कहीं दूसरी जगह पे नहीं मिल सकता. यहाँ की जो सब ये व्यवस्थापक बहुत बढ़िया है. यहाँ के सब लोग एकदम बढ़िया से मतलब एक दूसरे को सम्मान देते हैं. और प्रेम से बोलते हैं सब, जो कुछ भी तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम हो वो सॉल्व करते हैं और जो भी कुछ की ज़रूरत हो वो सब देते हैं। और जो संसार कुटुंब फैमिली के लिए जो शादी के अंदर कपाट पलंग और सब बर्तन का चीज़ देते हैं वो।
No celebration in India can ever be complete without good food.
मेरा नाम गणपत बहन गोया, गांव मुलवेरी, तालुका धर्मपुर, डिस्ट्रिक्ट वलसाड। और यहाँ 30 से 35 लोगों का खाना खिलाने के और नाश्ता के लिए 12 से 15,000 लोगों का नाश्ता बनाने का है। 4 टन चावल है और सब्जी में 4 टन सब्जी है।
Brides and grooms with their families all relished the delicious treats that had been prepared with a lot of love. The event ended up as a big success, with everything organized in an impeccable way and having accomplished its objective of bringing joy and cheer to the 1,121 families and couples who could have never imagined getting married in such a spectacular way.
मगवे में मिलेंगे कुंवर कान जा बाट चलत बोले खगवा फगवा ब्रिज देखन को चलो रे भगवा ब्रिज देखन को भगवा ब्रिज देखन को चलो रे भगवा